our top story. Hunter Biden expected to plead guilty to federal tax and weapons charges as part of an agreement. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Roseanne Tejas. President Biden's son struck a plea deal that could help him avoid jail time. Mike Emanuel has the latest now on this case.
President Biden's son Hunter striking a surprise deal to head off federal charges while his father runs for re-election. The 53-year-old will plead guilty to 2 minor tax charges from 2017 and 2018. Plus, he's admitting to unlawful possession of a gun while he was a drug addict.
This is a relatively minor case, so it can be handled relatively quickly.
It's part of a tentative deal he made with prosecutors who have been investigating him starting back in 2018. The terms of the deal were negotiated by a Delaware U.S. attorney, a Trump appointee. The White House is tight-lipped, saying in a short statement, quote, "The president and first lady love their son and support him as he continues to rebuild his life. We will have no further comment." The plea deal could impact the 2024 race, with critics already saying the president's son is getting preferential treatment.
A lot of Republicans are going to say this is a real slap on the wrist.
Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn weighing in, saying in a statement, "This is a sweetheart deal with no jail time." And former President Donald Trump is comparing Hunter's treatment by the Justice Department to his own legal troubles. He said on social media, quote, "The corrupt Biden DOJ just cleared up hundreds of years of criminal liability by giving Hunter Biden a mere traffic ticket." Hunter Biden's representative said he's paid back more than $1 million in taxes. He could get a sentence of about 2 years probation. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
The charges have wide political implications. And joining us now are political editor Mike Flannery and also former federal prosecutor Pat Brady. Thank you both for coming in. So, Mike, let's start with you and the implications this has on the campaign, the timing.
Well, you heard Mike Emanuel there say that the former president, who is way ahead in the Republican primary race to become the nominee in 2024, is already attacking President Biden on this, and he's saying, "Oh, they've indicted me, but they gave this guy a traffic ticket." What's your read on it, Pat?
Yeah,
is this a traffic ticket?
No, and listen, it's a 5-year investigation. This is a Republican Trump appointee U.S. attorney who's actually bringing these charges, recommending these charges, and it actually went up to the Justice Department through the tax division. They came up, but it's not a slap on the wrist. Not paying your taxes is the lowest form of tax fraud or tax offenses you can have. Evading taxes, now that's serious, but he paid them.
What about the gun charges, seriousness of that?
Yeah, I was trying to get a comparison. I looked it up. What he did is when he was applying to get his gun, he put down he didn't do drugs or didn't have, and apparently in his book, he put down that he was addicted to drugs, so he lied on his application.
And he said he was taking crack every 15 minutes, right?
Yeah, so he lied. And I don't think this is unusual. It's not out of line. It's not too much. It's not too little. So I think all in all, it is what it is.
Let's talk about some of the reaction. DeSantis saying if he wasn't a member of the elite class, speaking of Hunter Biden, he would have been put in jail a long time ago. The former President Trump said it was a traffic ticket.
So look, we are going to hear about this throughout 2024. We're likely we have been hearing about it for years. The former president, Trump, refers to the laptop from hell, Hunter Biden's laptop that mysteriously ended up at some repair shop in Delaware, and then Republicans got a hold of it, and there's all the salacious material on there involving his drug use and other stuff.
He was a messed up kid for sure.
It's amazing. It's amazing, given that history of drug abuse and all the rest of it, that he, at age 52, is still able to function.
But when Republicans make a lot of this two-tier system and the weaponization of the DOJ, these cases are different. The Biden and what President Trump is facing.
So they're very different, yes. But Pat, there remains, and none of it is addressed in these charges. But part of this investigation that David Weiss was conducting in Delaware appeared to focus based on subpoenas and other materials that was reported about, appeared to focus on a relationship between the Biden family and corporate entities in Ukraine, among other things.
Yeah, legitimate investigations, which have been investigated 3 times. And again, this has been going on basically since the Obama administration. So we're into year 5, almost year 6 of this investigation. I'm assuming that's been investigated and is going to be put to bed. But the bigger question, I think, Congress has rightful oversight on this is why are relatives of elected officials making $50,000 a month off government deals? There needs to be a look at that. It may not be criminal, but it doesn't seem proper.
And you know, now there's the Democrats. I see some Democrats already saying, well, how is it that Jared Kushner, those who raised
they walked out with $2 billion from the Saudis.
From the Saudis.
That's my point. They need to. Somebody does need to look at this.
But the House Republicans are saying they are going to continue to look at this. They are not done.
And this enhances the investigation.
You know, the thing is, though,
Congressman
and I
Comer's
wish
committee.
everybody would learn on both sides, and we learned this with Bill Clinton. Investigative politics is a short-term game, and it doesn't win you hearts and minds of the people in the middle that are more concerned about inflation and jobs than what's going on in the swamp.
Not likely to be a determining factor of the 2024 election.
Right. Finally, President Trump currently scheduled to go on trial August 14th. That going to happen then?
Well, that's a preliminary date. That'll be pushed back, but that's an aggressive trial date set by the judge. When do you think it'll actually come?
Probably not. But at the same time, Ed Burke, I don't know. I mean, they seem or any of these guys, they stretch them out for. I not so a year from now, I don't see it.
Wow. So, but you think before the election?
Because it's national security documents. It's not a typical criminal case where I can just hand over all the documents. Each of these are under protective orders. They have to go into a special, they call it a skiff room, I think they call it. So this could drag out for a long, long time.
Okay. Mike Flannery, Pat Brady, thank you so much.